And welcome everybody to This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host Sherman Ray. We are filming live from the studios of the City FM with Milian Quinteros, who's at the helm. And next to me is our guest host today, which is D.W. Grant. How you doing, D.W.?
Hey, good. Glad to be here.
Well, fantastic, man. Hey, so, this show is all about Las Vegas and things that are going on in Las Vegas. I'll tell you, we've got some great things that are going on in Las Vegas, and we're going to get to those in just a minute. But we want to tell you a little bit about who the sponsor of the show is, and it is the Diversity Networking Group. If you're ever in town, folks, and you need a networking group to be a part of, come on up to the Diversity Networking Group. We meet a couple times a week.
Do we have to be diverse in order to join the group?
You better believe it. You've got to be diverse. You've got to wear colored shirts like I'm wearing right now. We, as a matter of fact, this morning we had the Christian Business Connection who met, and we had a great conversation about the blessings of Abraham and all that good stuff, and getting your inheritance and all that. It was just really fantastic. Had a couple of new guys came back to the group today.
We're all wearing colored shirts next week.
Yes, that's right. And that's part of what we do in the Diversity Networking Group. We wear colored shirts. We want to welcome the folks who are here with the webcam. I'm the Jamaican guy to the left of your screen there. I'm an undercover Rush baby. So they call us, we were talking about this before. They said, Sherman, you're a rare commodity that you're a black man who likes Rush Limbaugh. And I said, oh no, there's a lot of us. We're just undercover. That's all. We're just there's probably tons of us out there who are conservatives, and we're pro-business and all that other stuff. But anyways, let's. So the Diversity Networking Group is one of the sponsors, and we want to talk to you just a little bit about a new business that we're working on, and it's called the Las Vegas Business Promotion Network. And as we're going to be talking about that a lot more in the coming weeks. But the Las Vegas Biz Promotion Network is all about, once again, networking with business owners and how we can actually help them connect with high net worth business owners. And lastly, the Edge training. And the Edge training is just something that has been something that's been on our heart for many, many years. And it's really just another way of getting good information out to business owners, getting them the edge in business and personal development.
So there's a Facebook page for that, isn't there?
Yeah, and you can actually follow us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter, and it's just another way for us to help the community out and get some real valuable information in their hands. Hey DW, I want to thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh. Well, thank you for letting me be here, man. This is great.
Yeah, usually, and it's funny, usually you're out and about writing books and doing all kinds of great things.
Yep.
But today you said, hey, I'm going to come out and hang out with Sherman, and that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on in Vegas. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me about that.
What's not going on in Vegas?
I know. What is not? There are so many things going on. And before we get to the stack of stuff that we've got here, I want to talk about somebody who's going to be in Vegas, who's become an integral part of Las Vegas, and that's Tony Hsieh. And you probably remember Tony Hsieh.
Tony Hsieh.
Yeah, remember he's the guy who started Zappos.
Oh,
Zappos.com.
Yeah.
Tony Hsieh took his operation from Henderson, where they were based, and they had like 1,700 people there or something like that. And they bought the old city hall downtown, and so they're going to move in a bunch of people downtown. Well, one of the things that he's also done is he's actually been talking to a lot of his buddies who are Silicon Valley type people, and he's been convincing them to come to Las Vegas.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's been trying to make Vegas like the next Silicon Valley.
Yeah,
which is real cool. So they put together a thing called Vegas Tech Fund. Excuse me. And Vegas Tech Fund was like $50 million lump sum of cash to give money to startups.
Wow.
Okay, so
Can I borrow 100?
Well, if you got a computer, if you've got a viable tech thing, I'll tell you, they're going to fund you. Well, Tony Hsieh is going to be over at Thomas and Mack on the 24th, and they touted saying what's next for downtown, because he's downtown right now and he's doing some fantastic things. Have you seen that the container village? That
yeah. I've seen the plans for it. Yeah, I saw it in the paper.
Oh yeah. Well, they've already started that, and Tony Hsieh is the reason why they're doing that.
It's 3rd and Carson, is it?
Is it? No, that's where the building is at. That's where the city hall's at.
Oh, okay.
But it is actually a little bit further down, down south. Excuse me.
They're supposed to build a giant, what is it, a giant thing, it's a statue.
Ah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, Tony Hsieh has had a marked impact on downtown. One with just bringing his folks down from Zappos, and they've taken up I think 2 floors of the city hall building. But now he's doing the Vegas Tech Fund thing, and he's got people just excited about it. They're doing the container village. It's a master plan community is really what it is. It's shops and everything else.
Yeah, I've seen pictures of it. It was a praying mantis. There's this giant praying mantis
That's
at the building. Then there'll be a fountain there, and it's really going to be cool.
Yeah, it should be very cool. Well, now he's coming in on the 24th over Thomas and Mack, and he's going to tell everybody what is next for downtown.
Wow.
Now this guy came in with $900 million. He came in with
That's authority, man.
That's a back pocket full of money.
Yeah, that's authority.
And people said, "Hey, we're going to listen to this guy." So he's going to be at Thomas and Mack from 7 to 1:30, and he's going to be talking about that, about what's going to happen next, because he's got some big plans.
What's the date on there?
It's going to be the 24th of January, so it's in just a couple of weeks. So, and really, it's generally for Las Vegas Chamber members, or excuse me, Metro Chamber, because the Las Vegas and North Vegas came together.
Yeah.
And they call it the Metro Chamber. But it's going to be worth it for business owners to go down there, find out what Tony Hsieh is doing, because it's affecting a lot of people. And if you're in the tech industry, that's where you want to be.
Is this going to be a paid event? Do you have to pay to get in?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You know the cost yet?
Yeah, I think it is actually, and I've got it. I got it over here someplace.
I'd love to go.
But it's like $60 for a chamber member.
Yeah.
And I think it's like $80 if you're not.
Oh, well, that's not so bad.
No, and it starts from 7 o'clock in the morning to about 1:30 in the afternoon.
Where's this thing at again?
It's going to be with Thomas and Mack.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. And as a matter of fact,
Have you got your tickets?
I'm actually a member of the chamber,
Yeah.
and so we're going to. As a matter of fact, with one of my clients, which is the Lakeside Business Suites, we're going to be going with them too. So. Going to be going with some power players, because these guys got a lot of money. They really are interested in what's going on in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And it should be cool. As a matter of fact, that kind of plays into what and this was something that was at the bottom of our stack, but it's something we really need to talk about. And for those of you who are just joining us right now, this is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, and to my right is D.W. Grant, writer extraordinaire.
Hey, founder of DW Books.
Founder of DW Books.
DWBookstore.com.
There you go. And so we are talking about some of the things that are going on in Las Vegas. We were just talking about Tony Hsieh, and one of the things that is kind of an offshoot of that is a venture capital fund. And this guy's name is Steve Case. He's got a company called Revolution LLC. And they expect Las Vegas and 11 other traditionally underserved cities to receive 80% of his company's future investment dollars.
Really?
This is interesting. Now, and this might spill over to the next segment. We got to hit this hard though, because normally these guys reserve their money for Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
So they pump all the money that goes into Silicon Valley generally are from VCs or venture capitalists who live around the Silicon Valley. But they're finding now the way technology is and stuff like that, people do not have to be in that Silicon Valley in order for them to start businesses. And so this guy says, hey, guess what? We're going to invest 80% of our money in places outside of Silicon Valley.
Who would want to invest in Las Vegas Valley? I mean, this is entertainment capital of the world here.
Aha!
Set your business up here, man, and people will beg to come and find out what you're selling.
Well, this is the interesting thing about it, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it in the second segment. If you're listening, folks, if you want to find out why people are going to come to Las Vegas and why this guy is going to invest a whole lot of money here, come back to the next segment. We'll talk more about it. This is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, and we will be back in just a minute. Hey, and welcome back, folks, to This Week on DNG Radio. I just had a little candy in my mouth and, something to wet the whistles. Hey, we are, to my right here is D.W. Grant. For those of you who are watching on the webcam, we want to welcome you back. This is a production of the Diversity Networking Group, and we just want to thank you all for being a part of it. You know, D.W., I don't know if you knew this, but this radio show is actually listened to by, like, international.
Really?
Oh yeah, there's people listening to this thing from like California and even further places like Fresno.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
No. But it actually, there are a lot of people who are listening, in the Northwest, overseas and stuff like that, because they want to know what's going on in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So let's get back to what we were talking about before. We were talking about the venture capitalists who are earmarking 80% of their cash. Now, the name of this company, this particular company, is called Revolution LLC. And you might want to ask, why would these venture capitalists be looking at Las Vegas in particular to invest their cash? Well, it's because of the story that we were talking about before, Tony Hsieh.
Yeah.
Tony Hsieh, in his company, it's called Vegas Tech Fund.
Have you ever met Tony Hsieh?
No, I haven't. I'm going to meet him pretty quick, though.
Yeah, invite him to the DNG, boy. We'd love him.
I'd love to meet the guy.
Yeah.
Tony Hsieh, because he has been doing a lot of things downtown, and because of the influence of Zappos.com, there's, as a matter of fact, there's a hotel. It's called, I forgot the name of the hotel, but it's right across from the. What's the name of that hotel? It's I forgot. The name is escaping me right now. I'll think about it in just a second. But Tony Hsieh basically has rented out the top floor of one of the condo towers downtown town.
Yeah.
Next to the El Cortez. As a matter of fact, it's the place right across from the El Cortez, just west of it.
Okay.
So he brought in a bunch of his buddies and said, hey, take a look at downtown. We're going to be doing a lot of things down here. And he's been putting up these people in this hotel or this condo tower just for one reason. So they can start looking at Las Vegas to produce a downtown walking area, doing all these great things. That is why this tech fund or this venture capitalist is saying, hey, this guy is serious. Because if Tony Hsieh has got his stamp of approval on it, then it's going to go.
Money creates money, doesn't it?
It does. Well, yeah, it does. Or interest, people committing to things like that.
Yeah. A commitment.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that I think is going on, and Tony Hsieh is just doing. And in a related story, this is called Joe Downtown, and Joe Downtown is they were talking about startups, and this is a letter. This is an article from the Las Vegas Sun, and it says basically that startups are sharing offices downtown. So we're really focusing in downtown for a reason.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on downtown. So if you're catching the whole flavor of the show today, it's because there's a lot of things going on. Let me read a little bit of this article for you. It says, on a tiny slice of street in downtown Las Vegas, in an area south of Charleston Boulevard, between Las Vegas Boulevard and the Maryland Parkway, startup companies are sharing homes and each other's technical skills. The homes currently number about 6. The guy's name is, I think it's Faudet. He's a Senegal-born cinematographer and programmer who founded Evasive.com, an advertising startup. And he says, I think this is going to happen, that they're going to actually have a whole block full of these startup companies that are going to be sharing homes downtown because there is so much synergy and energy that is derived from all these like-minded people who are not competing against each other, but they're there to help each other. This is like the second Silicon Valley.
Cool.
It is crazy what's happening down there.
So it's the next evolution in Las Vegas. You had the mob, you had the Neon City, you had the corporate canyon, right?
Yeah.
The corporate casino canyon, and now you're looking at the Silicon City.
Wow, and it's crazy, and it's really being spring-loaded. I mean, it's really being pushed along by Tony Hsieh. Tony Hsieh has basically said, and we've talked about this on the show before, is that Tony Hsieh has said that he is going to create the next Silicon Valley here in Las Vegas.
The difference with Tony, there's been a lot of ideas, people wanting to do things in Las Vegas, and but the problem there wasn't the commitment and there wasn't the money. But apparently with Tony, there's both the commitment and the money.
Yeah, and I would say not just the commitment and the money, but the vision.
Yeah.
The vision to say that because right now the internet is really just kind of in its infancy. It really is. But Tony Hsieh has been looking, he's like 50 years down the road. We got another Steve Jobs here in Las Vegas, driving that whole internet thing, the whole cyber thing. And it's going to be something fantastic. And people are starting to get it, because now we've got people moving into town for one reason, and it ain't for gambling.
Yeah.
It's because they know that they can create a startup that could potentially catch the eye of these venture capitalists who are here now, and it's going to be something fantastic.
Well, let's bring it down. If a venture capitalist comes in, sets up a company, it means economy.
Yep.
It means jobs.
Yep.
Now he may set up a business that gives 100 jobs, but those 100 people that work there are going to have 100 families who are going to need to go out. Every one of those families is going to buy groceries,
Yep.
buy gas.
Yep.
They're going to want to go out, go to the movies. You know, they're going to want to come buy shoes at your store or coffee at Avery Coffees, right?
Sure.
And so there's the economy right there.
Oh,
One
yeah.
guy setting up a business with 100 jobs.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And people are just starting, and people have been looking for this. How are we going to do things? Let me go on with this. They said they're going to be not only, so that's one portion of it, but there are things called co-working spaces, and a company called Work in Progress, funded partly by the Downtown Project, is creating 5 different co-working offices throughout downtown. So right now, even as we speak, they're creating these co-working offices throughout downtown. Zach Ware is one of the company's founders, and he's also in charge of preparing City Hall for the migration of the 1,000 Zappos folk. Okay, so it's still going back to Zappos. The first co-working space will open in February, closer to Fremont East, and at 317 South 6th Street. Guess how much they're going to ask you to pay to be a part of this?
No.
Yeah. Okay. It says for $50 a month, $50 a month, interested parties can rent communal desks, meeting rooms, and tools, including Wi-Fi, from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. in any of the Work in Progress offices. For an additional cost, which will vary by space, members will also have 24/7 access rent of a particular desk.
Now this doesn't sound like something that somebody that hates other people is going to want to sit and do. It sounds like somebody that wants to get the synergy from other business owners, because you're going to have to share a desk.
Yeah, well, it's a communal desk, right?
Yeah.
But we've got a friend who has Defining Women in BizPac, Catherine Jaramillo and J.R. Jaramillo. They opened up and their company is called CoBiz. Okay, and CoBiz is a co-working space also. It's a loft, though, where they live at, because that's actually where their business is at. And their loft space is where they live, and then underneath it, they have this communal working space. Same sort of thing. These guys have taken it to the next level.
Oh.
They're opening up little offices, little pods all throughout downtown, creating a village of this synergy and these people thinking. For $50 a month, you can have an office around a bunch of people who are in the same thing as you. It's the next Silicon Valley.
Well, they're not giving you the living space too. I mean, for $50 a month, they're not giving you a bed to sleep in.
No.
You're just getting the communal desk.
Yeah, that's where you work at.
Mm-hmm.
But if you could be sitting next to a guy who is an IT guy, or sitting next to a guy who's a graphic arts guy, or a hard, whatever these people who are in this cyber thing goes, you can actually get a lot of input, because somebody's going to be looking over your shoulder every once in a while. They're there to help you.
You got to love that kind of atmosphere.
Oh yeah. Well, that's how Silicon Valley got going.
Yeah.
And that's how Zappos is. That's how they live. And they're trying to create down there a whole living space where you don't have to leave. You stay down there, you live down there, you work down there, you play down there, you get your ideas down there. That's what Tony Hsieh is.
See, there's the answer to Milius's question that he asked before we went on the air: is how do we get rid of our cars? How do we find another way to work? It takes me 20 minutes to get to work when I'm tired of driving this car. Well, why should it take you 20 minutes to get to work? Why not live?
Yeah, why not live down there? And that's what they're doing downtown. It's just very exciting. So for $50 a month, folks, it's due to be opened up in February. And so it should be a great thing. You get Wi-Fi down there and stuff like that. Should be very cool. So for those of you who are just tuning in right now, this is This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. Along with me is D.W. Grant, author of millions of books.
DWBooks.store.com.
And we'll be back in just a minute to talk a little bit more about what's going on in Las Vegas in particular. There's so many things going on. We'll talk about what's going on in North Vegas. And particularly, we're going to be talking about a huge Ferris wheel that should be going, but it ain't. So, folks, just stick around. We will be back.
Just ain't turning.
In just a moment.
Clear.
Hey, and welcome back, folks, to This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray. And I just want to remind you, folks, about the Diversity Networking Group. We meet twice a week, on Wednesday for the Christian Business Connection and on Thursday for the Diversity Networking Group, both at Panera Bread, 7 o'clock in the morning at 7175 West Lake Mead Boulevard. Matter of fact, this week we are going to have Joel Garcia. And Joel Garcia is the founder of Latino Town Hall.
Oh, yeah.
And Latino Town Hall, excuse me, focuses in on the Hispanic community. That's why they call it Latino Town Hall. And they focus in on the Hispanic community, their needs, their businesses, developing leadership stuff. So if you'd like to find out what's going on with the Latino, the Hispanic community, come out tomorrow, 7 o'clock in the morning, to listen to Joel Garcia. And he's a great guy. He just is a wonderful guy.
Well, I can tell you that, you know, it probably won't be Latino centered. It might be somewhat because that's his flavor. But he used to be a pastor at my church, and I know his business principles, his living principles are very, very down to earth and strong foundational. So what he teaches tomorrow is going to have a good foundation of it.
Oh,
very
yeah.
good.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I spoke to him yesterday, and he says, "Hey," and because we have at the diversity networking group, we've got everybody. We've got everybody from the Mary Kay lady up to doctors and lawyers,
Tupperware ladies.
Tupperware ladies. We've got all those folks, and I said, just give it to us. Give us a lot about how we can position our businesses to service the Latino. I keep saying Latino community. So, hey, so we were talking in the last couple of segments. excuse me. About what Tony Shea is bringing to downtown. So, folks, if you are thinking that Las Vegas is going downhill, I really would not bet against Las Vegas.
And listen, Tony, if you're out there and you're listening, call in or get a hold of us because we'd love to talk to you and see your vision spread out amongst some of our people too.
Yeah, he's a great guy, Tony. So you can call me, buddy. It's a wink. I'll wink there. You can call me anytime, brother. Hey, Mayor Sherry Buck has been talking about what's going on in North Las Vegas. And if you know anything about Las Vegas, you know in the last couple of years we've been hit hard by the recession. And North Las Vegas has probably been hit even worse than regular Las Vegas.
Now, North Las Vegas, isn't that just a place where they shove all the homeless people when they don't want them to be on the strip? Isn't that what North Las Vegas
I bet you sometimes they feel that way.
Yeah.
North Vegas has really changed since I was a kid. And now it encompasses like Centennial. It's a huge swath of area, and yet they've had such huge problems with it. But the mayor came out and she said, "Hey, folks, don't bet against us. That we've got some great things that are going on." And so Mayor Sherry Buck is saying, "Hey, look, jobs are coming back to North Las Vegas." As a matter of fact, she quotes a couple of businesses, things like Davita, Flexible Foam. I think it's called Shellion House and BioWest are moving into the city, creating more than 175 jobs.
Oh, that's good.
Which is real cool.
Yeah.
So she said there's also larger employers that have purchased large space in North Las Vegas, but she couldn't announce who they were. So I know they've had some great things that have gone out in North Las Vegas. So our hearts go out to the folks over in North Vegas because even the North Vegas Chamber of Commerce has kind of folded in with the Las Vegas Chamber. And that's why they call it the Metro Chamber.
I put a business out there. If they give me a good deal on the space, sure. I like North Las Vegas. I kidded about the homeless people, but there's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah. And it's a great place. I mean, a lot of new homes, but they've had a lot of loss in the revenue because of the downturn in the economy. So a lot of money has gone out of the place as opposed to what should have been gone in. There's a related story that the Skyview, remember the Skyview Ferris wheel?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be going in over, and this is not to be confused with the other Ferris wheel that's supposed to be going in near Caesar's Palace. But there's one that's supposed to be going in across from the
Luxor, right?
No, it's actually from what's the name of the place down way south in the valley.
Well, wait a minute. They're building one across the street from the Luxor, aren't they?
It's really close. Yeah. So yes, you're right. So it's across from Luxor. Well, and probably the reason why I don't remember it so much is because it stalled out. It stalled out a long time ago.
Really?
And that's what this story is all about. It's called the Skyview. It's a 500-foot Ferris wheel. It's been under construction south in the Strip.
Because they have two big concrete towers that they built there in order to balance the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, to hold that thing up.
Yeah.
And they've had some major problems. A lot of the contractors. We were talking about this before the show started. That this guy's probably going about it the wrong way. So what normally has happened in Vegas is people build the whole thing, and then they go, they kind of screw the contractor and say, get 10 cents on the dollar for what I really owe you.
But the contractors have got wise on this one, huh?
Contractors got real wise, and they said, "No, we're halting work right now," and they're waiting for the money. And I mean, it's not as though there's not money coming. It's just that the contractor's going, "Look, we got way too much out there, and we're not going to allow it to go any further."
Say, look, I'll give you your money when the UNLV Rebels football team plays for the national championship. How about that?
Yeah. So the Skyview is having some financial. Yeah, they're having some problems, but they say that they should be going back on track here fairly soon. They don't give a date. They don't give a date on when it's supposed to be going back up, but they say that it should be back on track. So we'll find out.
The Ferris wheel is going back on track.
The Ferris wheel is going back on track.
It'll be spinning again.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We've got a lot of attractions that are coming to Las Vegas that are not gambling related. You probably heard about the Wet and Wild, the wave pool that's supposed to be going in the Beltway down there.
Yeah.
Well, they've been having a contest for like the last couple of weeks on naming the Wet and Wild one of the wave pools. So the name that is out.
The Sherman Ray wave pool, is that it?
I can see it now. Well, I don't think it's in the top 5. But but the name that is out there right now is called Raging Rebel.
Raging Rebel. I
Raging
like
Rebel.
it.
And so
that's better than the toilet bowl. That's
yeah, I know. This is going to be pretty neat. So somebody really said, hey, we're going to really invest. They've got 41 acres out there, and they're putting it all together, which is cool. So
cool.
The water park is under construction. It's 7055 South Fort Apache Road. That's up the Beltway in Sunset. So that should be cool. So we're excited. So if you would like to put your bid in, because they're going to actually accept more, submissions for the name.
Dive right in. It's going to be hard to. It's going to be hard to beat the Raging.
Oh, I know. There's quite a few. I mean, but you still, if you think you've got a name that you could get out there, you've got till Saturday to find out, and we will post it. The name. Actually, you can vote on their Facebook page.
Rebel Rapids.
Yeah. So look for Wet and Wild on Facebook, and you can put the name out there that you want. Hey,
George.
We're running out of time here, but I just want to remind everybody we've got a couple of great things that are going on with the Diversity Networking Group, and just kind of want to remind you of it. One of the things I'm really excited about is the Edge training. The Edge training has been
on the edge.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun that we're starting this out, and we're helping business owners to get to the next level in their confidence and their abilities. And we're really encouraging them to get out there. We're really giving them the edge in business from people who've been there before, which is real cool.
I was boosted so far up, I actually wore a suit and a tie to the last meeting.
I know, you did. You look great, too.
Thank you. I was on the edge.
Yeah.
I still am.
Yeah, and the other thing is the Las Vegas Business Promotion Network. It is a work in progress, but it should be fun. It's exciting. We are working with doctors, lawyers, high-end, high-net-worth business owners who really want to do business with each other. And this is, it's not a social club. So if you're expecting to go into a social club, it's not that at all. We're really, these are high-powered people who don't know the other high-powered person, who might be looking for a venture capitalist, who are looking for somebody to do manufacturing or something like that. So it's really exciting to be working with those guys.
What's in your pocket? I don't know.
Yeah.
You want to come over here?
Yeah, not that. So the Las Vegas Business Promotion Network is excited. And also, if you would like to be a part of the Diversity Networking Group, once again, we meet on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Wednesdays is for the Christian Business Connection, and Thursdays it's for the Diversity Networking Group.
Can I throw in the website for my DW bookstore?
Well, in just a minute you can. The Diversity Networking Group, it meets on Thursdays at Panera Bread at 7175 West Lake Mead Boulevard. And this week we've got Joel Garcia. And Joel is just a wonderful guy. He is the founder and the president of Latino Town Hall. And so if you want to find out how you can position your business for the, then come out Thursday and find out about the Latino Town Hall. And once again, folks, I don't want to be remiss in letting everybody know about DW Grant, who's sitting with us today. And DW, you've got DW Books.
DWBookstore.com.
Fantastic.
Got lots of books there. Take a look.
Yep, fantastic. Folks, we will be back next week for This Week on DNG Radio. I'm your host, Sherman Ray, once again. Folks, it's going to be great here in Vegas. So don't bet on Vegas. Don't bet against Vegas. Bet for Vegas. And we will be back again next week. So we will talk to you later. Bye-bye.